welcome back to Sai SS Academy. This is me Ashwati Nair. Today I am going to discuss about the chapter 1 class 9 history, the French Revolution. Already the first topic is over and the two videos are there. Hope you saw that. Okay, today this is the second topic and the topic's name is the outbreak of the revolution. Okay, the outbreak of the revolution. Okay children, already we discussed about the Louis XVI. That means Louis XVI faced a lot of problems for increasing the tax. Okay, so again we are coming back to the topic tax. Okay, tax. That means the Louis XVI, he was the king at that time and he alone can't take decision to increase tax. Okay, and for increasing the tax, he has to take permission from the estate generals. We already learned about it, isn't it? Again, I am going to discuss about the estate generals. Okay, first estate. First estate, it consists of the 300 members, and the second estate consists of the 300 members, and the third estate consists of the 600 members. But thing we have to note here is that even if the 300 members are there for the first estate, altogether one vote is there for the first estate. Okay, that means the 300 members together have only one vote, and the second estate also the same thing, only one vote is there. And for the third estate, even though the 600 members are there, but altogether they do have only one vote. So if here the first estate and the second estate join hands with the king, and if they pass the motion of increasing the tax, what will happen? Yes, means the first and the second estate are already they are exempted from the tax, isn't it? They are exempted from the tax because of the some privileges by birth. All the burdens are going to the third estate. Even then, if the condition is like that, and if the first estate and second estate are joining hands with the king, and if they are increasing the tax, what will happen? All the burden will comes to the third estate people, isn't it? All the this burden will come to the third estate people, and here the third estate demanded that there must be a change in this process. Because of all this bearing this burden, the third estate people said that okay, now we have to change this process. Okay, instead of one vote, what they demanded for each member would have one vote. Instead of the one vote for the three estates, they demanded for the each member would have one vote. That means voting conducted the assembly as a vote. Got it? Do you think the king will accept this? No, isn't it? The king rejected this proposal. He said that whatever is going from the past, okay, whatever was going from the past, it will continue in future and there will be no changes. So what happened? Hence, the third estate people, they boycotted the meeting. They boycotted the meeting, and what they did, they assembled in the indoor tennis court of Versailles and declared themselves as National Assembly. So next we have to discuss about the National Assembly. Yes children. So the third estate people formed the National Assembly. National Assembly. Okay. What was the aim? Yes. The main aim was to form a constitution. The main aim was to form a constitution which limits the power of the king. Why? Because the king is not able to take proper decisions. The king is not able to take the proper decisions. So they thought that they have to limit the power of the king. But here some people were ready to form the constitution, but majority of them were, yes, they were not ready. And what did they do? They marched towards the Bastille fort. They marched towards the Bastille fort, and actually because they were very angry with the king. Okay, they were very angry with the king and they stormed the Bastille fort. Okay, on which day? On 14th July 1789. And it was a historical event that took place in the French Revolution. Okay, it was a historical event that took place in the France, which changed the complete picture of the France. Okay, this changed the complete picture of the France. And later, 14th July 1789, they celebrated as the National Day of France. Okay, later 14th July 1789, they celebrated as the National Day of France. After that incident, the Louis XVI realized that people are very serious regarding National Assembly as well as the Constitution. He understood that, okay, now that these people are very furious. He have to do something for them. So at last, what did he do? He finally accepted the constitution in 4th August. 4th August. He understood that the people are very furious. So finally he accepted the constitution on which day? 4th August 1789. The king finally accepted and given approval for the National Assembly and accepted the principle that his power would be checked by the constitution. His power would be checked by the constitution. Okay. So have a look after the implementation of the constitution. What are the things happen in the France? Okay. Listen. On the night of the 4th August 1789, the assembly passed an agreement. Okay. On the night of the 4th August 1789, the assembly passed an agreement abolishing the privileges of the clergy and the nobles. First thing they did was that they abolished the privileges of the clergy and the nobles. Now, the clergy and nobles also have to pay tax. Second thing, now the clergy and the nobles also have to pay taxes. And as previously, they collected the taxes from the third estate people. We already learned that they collected some taxes from these peasants, no? That were also abolished. That means the peasants now, they don't have to pay the taxes to the clergies and the nobles. Okay. And other thing is that land under the churches is now under the government. Okay. Because of all these changes came there, and because of all these changes, now the government acquired or collected 2 billion livres. They collected the 2 billion livres and it was enough for them to pay back their loan. Actually, the king was in a debt for paying the loan, isn't it? So now he was able to pay back the loan. Why? Because of all these changes, the government acquired 2 billion livres. Got it? Okay. Now, the France becomes a constitutional monarchy. Okay, now the France became a constitutional monarchy, and what were the changes there? Have a look. Yes, the National Assembly completed the draft of constitution in 1791. And what are the changes there? Look, they limited the power of the monarchs. Now, the power separated and assigned to legislature, executive and judiciary. Okay, did you hear this legislature, executive and judiciary anywhere? Yes, our Indian government is also working under this, isn't it? 3 bodies are there: legislature, executive and judiciary. Yes, we know that. Yes. So, look, what was the next step? The declaration of the rights of the man and of the citizen. Okay, now the people of France have many basic rights. They have the freedom of speech, they have the freedom of liberty, they have the freedom of equality, fraternity, and the most important thing that we have to note is that now the voting right came. Okay, the voting right came, but children, you have to think that all the citizens don't have the vote. Okay, in France, the voting system came, but all the citizens have no right to vote. The voters were divided into 2. The active voters and the passive voters. What were the active voters and passive voters? Yes, active voters, 4 million people out of 28 million. Out of 28 million, 4 million people were of active voters. These active voters were of only men above 25 years and who paid taxes. The men above 25 years and who paid taxes. And what was the tax? That means the minimum tax should be 3 days of labor wages. Okay, these people only have the right to vote. And second, it is passive voters. The passive voters is of 3 million. It includes women, children, poor and youth below 25 years. These poor people, that means these passive voters, have no right to vote. Understood? So, the active voters and the passive voters. The active voters are the people who above 25 years and who pay taxes. And the passive voters were women, children, poor and the youth below 25 years and they don't have the right to vote. Got it? Okay children, next we are going to discuss about the voting method. Okay, the voting method. Have a look. The voters are voting for 2 bodies. First one is judiciary, voting for the judge. Okay, first one is judiciary, voting for the judge. Second, they are voting for the electors. That means the active voters have only the right for vote. First, they are voting to the judiciary. That means voting for the judge. Second, they are voting for the electors. Okay, they are voting for the electors who are 50,000 in numbers. These electors are of 50,000 in numbers. Later, those electors are voting for the National Assembly. Here, the members of the National Assembly is 745. That means the National Assembly consists of 745 members. You got it? That means the active voters, they vote the electors. They consist of the 50,000 men, and these electors are that are voting for the National Assembly. Got it? And the members of the National Assembly is of 745. Understood? These National Assembly members are controlling the executive. These National Assembly members are controlling the executive, and the executive consists of the king and the ministers. Understood? Okay. Yes, children, I thought that you understand the voting method of the France at that time. Next, we have to discuss about the reading political symbols, because the majority of the men and women in the 18th century could not read or write. They are not able to read and write at that time. So, images were frequently used instead of printed words to communicate the important ideas. So, have a look on the political symbols used at that time in the France. First one is broken chain. Chains were used to fetter slaves. That means it was a symbol of freedom. Next, the bundle of rods or fasces. Okay, it shows unity. The eye with a triangle radiating light. Okay, it symbolizes the knowledge. Next, it is a scepter, shows royal power. Look here, this is the snake biting its tail to form a ring, shows the symbol of eternity. That means a ring has neither beginning nor end. Red Phrygian cap, freedom of liberty. It shows the freedom of liberty. That means the cap worn by a slave upon becoming free. Blue, white, red are the national colors of the France. The winged women, personification of the law. Next, it is the law tablet. Okay, shows equality. The law is the same for all, and all are equal before it. By this, the second topic is over. Hope you understand all the topics I took today. If you understand every point, if you have any doubt, please comment on me. I will clear your doubt. And as always, I am saying, if you like my lecture, please subscribe my channel. Stay tuned with my channel. Have a good day. Thank you.